Hello guys,
Hi.
how are you feeling today?
Yeah, I'm good.
You good?
Yeah.
Thank you guys for coming to the show. Another episode of Couch Creatives.
Hey, you're getting too comfortable. Out of my seat. This is a director's chair. Come on. Finally, I'm here. How's everybody doing? They say never late is better, but better late than never.
Okay. Well,
Cool. So who's this monkey who was just here now? We're here to talk about the most important things of the industry, and that is, how do you survive the industry? We talk about set etiquette. As you heard, most of these guys, actresses, writers, stylists, and actors, models, we have everybody in the house. So let's start off by talking about, how do you survive this industry? We all know that the industry could be really ruthless. It's seasonal, and you have work now for the next 6 months, you don't have work. How does one survive? So, I'm just putting this all on the table, so anyone can go.
Well, if I can start it off, I'll speak mostly about the acting side of things, since I specialize in that. I think the one question that you should ask yourself, even before asking yourself how you survive in the industry, why are you doing it?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you in this industry? Is it for fame? Is it for the love of art? Is it for the love of storytelling? Once you've answered those questions, you should have a clear direction of whether you'll survive it or not. I cannot overemphasize this enough. Being humble is sort of like the main thing you should focus on if you want to survive in the industry. Because it's gonna come with a lot of fame. Mm-hmm. It's gonna come. I wish I could say a lot of money, but not in South Africa. Well, we do get pretty well, but obviously, if the work is not constant, you won't see that. So humbleness, just respect everyone on set. Be willing to learn more. I don't care if you've been in the industry for 10, 15, 20 years, but always have that space to keep learning, to keep improving on your craft. And if you can get those things in order, then you'll definitely survive, because you'll have the respect of your audience, you'll have the respect of your peers. Nobody likes to work with actors that are difficult to work with, but they are there. That's because they're not humble. That's because they're not willing to learn more. They think they know it all. So if you answer those questions, and if you stay humble, and just keep reinventing yourself in the industry, that's the main main sort of tools that to keep you going and to keep you surviving in the industry.
Yeah, talk about the giving yourself space to learn more. Could be hard. I guess I'm looking at the perspective of, I'm an A-lister now, actor in the country. How do you allow yourself not to be caught up in that status of A-lister and be able to allow yourself to learn more? It could be hard. It really be hard. A lot of people get trapped into that space of A-list status. But how do you stay afloat from that? How do you keep you spoke about humility as well, but how do you stay in that?
I think one thing we need to understand as actors is the people that watch us literally pay our bills, So those people you need to respect more. I remember sometimes I'm in the mall and I'm rushing somewhere and people want to take pictures. I always make that time to stop and take pictures for like 5-10 minutes. That's going to make someone's day. That might be nothing to you, but to your fan, that's going to make their day, even their month or year.
Yeah.
So also, I think we as South African actors are too relaxed in the environments that we are in. For example, we don't see a lot of us going overseas to challenge ourselves with the very best. If we're in a top soapy here and we're earning 50,000 a month for 3 years, that's it. You're comfortable. You don't want to step out of that comfort zone. I understand, because obviously you need to pay your bills. It's not easy. I'm not a huge fan of soapies, but soapies is what is like the only sort of full-time job as an actor. So that's why most actors sort of run to soapies. But I prefer, soapies are stagnant. soapies are shot indoors as well. You're in this studio the whole time. I prefer, trying out different roles, on location. Drama series that's where my passion is. So our actors, we are very we stuck into that mentality of we're too comfortable in the roles that we're in. We don't want to challenge ourselves.
Yeah.
So I guess and also the audience doesn't help as well because but it also depends what type of person you are. Because if you're humble and you come from a good background and you won't have an ego. I think the audience also help in just pumping the ego of actors, and we tend to forget where we come from. We tend to forget who made us. We tend to forget what's important. We even on set, actors are the most important people, but the whole crew, there's like 50 other people besides the actors, the craft people, the extras, but actors are treated like these gods. That's why some actors, it gets to their heads because everybody's just always trying to nurse their feelings, trying to make sure they're happy. I understand actors are the ones that sort of are the faces of the film or the show, but that gets to their heads.
I was about to say that I feel like the industry feeds us that.
Yeah.
I know from behind the scenes, and you guys should know that. As a stylist, as a writer, you would know. And myself as a director, it's a set etiquette where you treat it as this code, like you said, and we get fed that thing of anything you want is possible. If you are a top actor, if you are number one on the call sheet, your name is on top, everything you want happens. And we get zoned into it. It's easy to get zoned into that, But I hear you, it's a good point. And talking about behind the scenes, now we heard it from someone who's in front of the camera of how to stay with this humility, surviving, and you gotta be humble, you gotta do ABC, like Ukoma said. Excuse me, Elliot, for someone who's a stylist, you work with these A-listers all the time. What would you say as a crew member, as someone who's part of production, how do you then stay afloat from your perspective of how do you survive? I mean, it could be hard even for us. If there's no job, you get all these productions coming, then suddenly it could either be cancelled or it keeps on coming, you're prepping forever and it never happens. How do you then stay and keep your kind of skill fresh without giving up? I mean, it's easy to give up. Yeah. If you're not on a movie set, how do you maintain and survive?
Yeah, I think also it's good to put your name out there.
Yeah.
I mean, also now we've got social media like Instagram. I think what you need to do, especially as a behind the scenes person, you always need to market yourself in terms of, if, for instance, myself, I'm a stylist. On my page, I always write I'm a stylist, and I've done a lot of things in terms of styling. And also, I think saving money is what keeps me going. That's a
great point, yeah.
Because then you can have a job in 2 weeks' time, or in the next 3 months you don't have a job. So it's always good to save money. So
True.
Yeah,
that's something very hard. I mean, you're mentioning that, and I'm thinking, for us it's easy to be frivolous. We get so much money in a short space of time. They say our industry is the most demanding but the most rewarding. And you get overwhelmed by the amount of money you make in season, and you forget about the rainy days. So that's a good point you're putting there. As a writer, Anil, I mean, what do? You write, I mean, you guys write 5 years ahead of the project itself being adopted to a screenplay. But to keep on writing each day on that page, writing, whether you're writing an action movie, a drama, a romance, but how do you stay in that lane and like not lose faith?
Firstly, I wouldn't wait for 5 years. There's no way, because I have to do it myself.
Yeah.
So I have a full-time job. I make sure I have a full-time job, and I also freelance on this side. I would never live without money. Like I wouldn't just say I'm doing filmmaking and that's it. So I make sure I have a backup, and I also put my own money in my own projects.
Yeah.
So the years that I've kind of, sorry, let me just read a bit. And then
you got me thirsty there.
I make sure I focus on my career first. I build my career in marketing and network and make sure I understand if you're doing a whole film products once they're done, because it's a product, I need to sell it. So all of those things, I make sure I've ticked all of these things in my own comfortable space. And now when I make films, I approach them exactly the same way I've done in marketing. I'm like, it's a product, you have to sell it. And when it comes to writing, I exercise all the time because I write for other brands as well. It might be fluff, but it pays the bills. So I would never do this work like only as it is without money, without the money.